Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unravel the mysteries behind those big corporate filings, and sometimes it's just stuff. Today we're diving into Liberty Global's September 3rd filing, and it's a bit of a unique one, not a full financial picture, but more of a regulatory update. Let's see what's brewing behind the scenes with this global broadband giant. Before we dive too deep, if you're tired of wading through dense corporate jargon and want clear, actionable insights, make sure you're subscribed. And hey, we've got a fantastic community over on Discord. A link is in the description below, so come join the conversation. Alright, so the very first thing we see is identifier B2000 and 50903. This is basically the report's unique ID, linking it directly to Liberty Global's Class A common shares and the date of the report, September 3rd, 2025. It's like a digital fingerprint for this specific update. Now you'll notice a few of these entries like Common Class A member, Common Class B member, and Common Class C member. These are really just technical tags. What they're doing here is categorizing information related to different classes of Liberty Global's stock. They've got different types of shares, and these labels help organize everything when they're reporting. Think of it as the filing system for different stock types. This little false here is interesting. In the context of these types of filings, it often relates to a specific status or a checkbox that isn't being ticked. Without more surrounding data in this snippet, it's hard to say exactly what it applies to, but often it means a certain condition isn't met or a particular option hasn't been chosen. It's a bit like a company saying, nope, not using that particular exemption, or this particular claim doesn't apply right now. We're looking at information and disclosures, dated September 3rd, 2025. This is the key date for this report, telling us when the events or information being shared took place or became effective. It's the snapshot date for what Liberty Global is telling us today. Okay, so now we see the company's basic registration information. They're incorporated in Bermuda, which is pretty common for international companies, and they've got a commission file number and an IRS employer identification number. It's all standard corporate housekeeping stuff to make sure they're properly identified with the authorities. And here's where it gets more concrete for investors. This table lists the company's securities that are traded on public exchanges. For Liberty Global, we see Class A, Class B, and Class C common shares. The important ticker symbols are here too. LBTY is for their Class A shares, LBTYB for Class B, and LBTYK for Class C. If you're looking to trade Liberty Global stock, these are the codes you'd use on the Nasdaq Global Select Market, which is a pretty major stock exchange. It tells you where you can buy and sell pieces of the company. This section here is about how this report fits into a bigger picture of regulatory communication. Companies have to file specific forms for different reasons, and this part just clarifies if this particular filing is also meant to cover other reporting requirements. Essentially, they're saying this report is being filed and it also counts towards these other potential obligations. They're also indicating whether they qualify as an emerging growth company. This is a classification for companies that are smaller and newer, allowing them some flexibility in financial reporting rules. Liberty Global, given its scale, is likely not an emerging growth company, so this box would typically be unchecked, which it appears to be here. Now we get to the meat of why they're filing this specific report under a section called Regulation FD Disclosures. Regulation FD, or Fair Disclosure, is a rule that says companies have to share important information with everyone at the same time. They can't selectively tell good news to just a few people. And what they're disclosing here, as noted in Exhibit 99.1, is a press release dated September 3rd, 2025. So this report's main purpose is to officially file and share whatever important news was in that press release. It's how they make sure that the information is publicly available at the same time, sticking to those fair disclosure rules. The rest of these exhibits, like the XBRL documents, are all about making the data machine readable. XBRL stands for E-Extensible Business Reporting Language. It's a system that tags financial data so that computers can easily read, process, and analyze it. So schema document, definition, link-based document are all different parts of that tagging system. They're ensuring their data is structured correctly for electronic filing and analysis. And the last one, the cover page interactive data file, basically means that all the information on the first page of the report, all those essential details like the company name, date, and filing type are also presented in that machine-readable XBRL format. It's all about making data transparent and accessible. Finally, we have the signature block. This is the official sign-off. Randy L. Lazel, who is a vice president at Liberty Global, is signing this report on behalf of the company. It's dated September 3rd, 2025, the same date as the information being disclosed. This is the formal declaration that the company is responsible for the accuracy of this filing. So what's the story here? Essentially, Liberty Global is using this Form 8K filing primarily to make public a press release from September 3rd, 2025. This filing isn't a deep dive into their quarterly financials like a 10Q, but rather a way to ensure that whatever news was in that press release meets regulatory requirements. It's about timely and fair disclosure to all investors. Now, looking at this from a more strategic viewpoint, Liberty Global is a massive player in the global telecommunications and media space. They operate in numerous countries providing internet, mobile and cable TV services. Their business is capital intensive, meaning they spend a lot of money on infrastructure like cables and networks. The decision to file an 8K with a press release often signals an event of material importance that investors need to know about promptly. Without the actual content of the press release, we're left to speculate what that material event might have been. It could be anything from a significant new partnership, a major asset sale, a change in leadership, or maybe even an update on a large-scale infrastructure project. The fact that they're listing multiple classes of shares with different tickers, LBTY or LBTYK, also tells us something about their corporate structure. Different share classes can have different voting rights or dividend preferences. This complexity is common for large publicly traded companies and is part of how they manage ownership and control. Being listed on the Nasdaq Global Select Market signifies they are a substantial company meeting high listing standards. The XBRL tagging, while technical, is a huge win for transparency. It means analysts, investors, and even automated systems can pull and analyze Liberty Global's data much more efficiently. This move towards machine-readable data is making financial markets more accessible and data-driven. In terms of what's missing, we don't have any actual financial numbers here. This isn't a report where we'll find revenue figures, profit margins, or debt levels. It's purely a disclosure mechanism for a specific event. If that event involved financial implications, those details would be in the press release itself, which this filing simply refers to. To wrap up our assessment of this filing, Liberty Global is fulfilling its regulatory duty by promptly disclosing important news via a press release captured in this 8K. The filing itself is more about the process and structure of disclosure than the deep financial performance. Without the specific content of the September 3rd press release, it's difficult to pinpoint a specific business strategy or risk highlighted here beyond the general need for transparency. The company appears to be operating as a mature entity with a structured approach to regulatory compliance and investor communication, utilizing modern data formatting like XBRL. What's your take on Liberty Global's communication strategy, and what kind of news do you think warrants an 8K filing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more decoding of corporate filings. Make sure you join our Discord community linked in the description for even more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.